Hi there, I'm Teresa Caraway, CEO of Hearing First, and welcome to our Facebook Live Ask Me Anything event. We're broadcasting today live from New York, New York, and I'm excited that you've joined us today. And a little bit about Hearing First. We believe that every baby needs to have their hearing screened, and every family needs to know the status of their baby's hearing first, because all child development hinges on that. And we want families to act quickly and urgently so they can make decisions and choices for their child, how they want their child to communicate. Because today the sky is the limit for babies who are born deaf or hard of hearing to learn to listen and talk and develop literacy skills equal to their hearing friends. We also do that through raising awareness at Hearing First. We provide education opportunities for parents as well as professionals, and we provide two communities, one a family-to-family support community and a professional learning community. So we'd love to have you join us further in our communities and check us out online. But today we'll be discussing that important relationship of the parent and professional partnership in LSL intervention. And that's so critical, and I'm excited that we're having this important conversation today. But you're invited to submit your questions by posting your comments in the section below, and I look forward to answering your questions and having a dialogue with you today. You know, when I think of the parent-professional partnership that happens in LSL intervention, I really think of Dancing with the Stars. And the reason why that is a great word picture for me is that when the season begins in Dancing with the Stars, you can tell who the professional is, and you can maybe tell who the amateur is. But by the end of the season, you cannot tell who's who, because they have learned to be a partner together, and that coach has coached that other person to become a terrific, beautiful dancer. And so that's what happens in LSL intervention, is that partnership between the two, parent and the professional, begins to be much like a really tight, wonderful coaching arrangement. So one of the first questions we have is that comes to mind is, well, if we're talking LSL intervention, wait a minute, back up. What is LSL? And LSL stands for Listening and Spoken Language, and there is a set of strategies and principles that we can now utilize to teach children to use spoken language through learning to listen. And if you think about it, if you're a hearing person, how did you learn to talk? Well, you learned to talk through your ears, because hearing loss is about the brain. And by listening to your family around you, your siblings, your aunts and uncles, the neighborhood kids, you learn to talk. Because our brain is pre-wired to learn spoken language. And so what we know today is that when we start early and when we fit aggressive and contemporary hearing technology, that we can bypass the broken parts of the brain, and we can take that signal directly to the brain and teach that child to talk through their ears, just like a typical hearing child. And so listening and spoken language is all about teaching spoken language through listening. It's a set of guiding principles, and it's important because it emphasizes the use of hearing technology, and it also emphasizes the parent as a partner and the parent as the child's first and most important teacher. And so we utilize that in terms of in intervention to equip and to empower and to partner with parents so that they can be their child's first and most important teacher. So that was a great question. Another question that's come in is, so what do you expect in an early intervention session? And what is my role as a parent? Because I thought this is about the child. Well, early intervention, if you think about where children spend most of their time, it's at home with families. And so families are already equipped to provide that rich language and spoken language environment to grow that little brain for listening and talking. And so what's to be expected? Well, an early intervention is all about coaching and supporting you as the parent to be your child's first and most important teacher. It's about empowering and building capacity in you and helping you to know what to do in terms of those things that will make a huge difference in reaching your child's full potential. And so your role as a parent is to be a partner Your role as a parent is to learn and to everything you can from from the professional, and for the professional to learn from you, because you know your child best. And through that partnership, that child grows and flourishes and reaches their full potential. So that was a great question. Another question that's come in is, how do you express as a parent the goals for your child when you're working with your early interventionist? And that's really important, because you do know your child best. And one of the way the early interventionist plans intervention and plans goals with you is by looking at a developmental chart, looking at typical milestones, because all children go through the same steps to develop listening and spoken language. They may go through them at different rates and speeds, but it's the same steps. So looking at a developmental chart is a great way to look at it, to say, where is my child? What do I observe that they are doing? And then what's that next step in development that we need to be focused on to continue to grow them and grow their little brains? So pulling a developmental chart, and there's many examples of that on the Hearing First website, and we'll be posting in the comments section a worksheet or a downloadable that you can use in terms of looking at your child's hearing, your speech, language development, and cognitive development. So I encourage you to use that. Another question that comes in is that you don't have a LSL provider in your community, and you want to pursue a listening and spoken language outcome. So what are the options? Well, with today's technology, we know that it's amazing, and we can link up through the internet, and we can do what's called teleintervention. And so you could, and because of the way LSL intervention is focused on the parent and coaching and guiding parents, that can happen through an internet connection, through video conferencing such as Skype or Zoom or whatever that tool might be. But that interventionist can be sitting in another location, and you do not even leave your home, and you're coached and guided with you and your child in terms of for you to teach your child to listen and talk. But you don't have to do it alone. It's a partnership. And so the age, your child can begin telepractice from the minute that they are diagnosed and they start their journey. So even a 2-week-old baby to a 1-month-old baby to 6 months to 12 months, all ages of children can participate and benefit from telepractice. So there's a question now coming in, another one that we have, and this question is, I'll take the next question, if we could, please. Yeah, it's from Liz. Okay, Liz, you say you want to be a good partner with your early interventionist, and how can you be a better partner? Well, one way is that at the end of a session, to ask your early interventionist to share what their impressions were. What did they observe, and what did they learn, and what was their takeaway from the session? And then you can also share that same thing about what you observed and what you learned, and you can compare notes and plan for the next session. The other thing that's helpful is that for you to provide feedback to that professional and tell them what was the most helpful thing about that session today. What was helpful? Was it more helpful when that you liked it, that you found it helpful that they explained what they were doing, and then they modeled it for you to observe, and then they had you take a turn and you got to practice it, and they provided feedback to you. Whatever that is that you found is most helpful, tell them that. Tell them what you would like to have more of in the session, what you'd like to have less of in the session. Sometimes for me, I've heard parents say, Teresa, I really like it when you provide me more time to get to practice what I need to learn and for you to provide feedback to me. And sometimes I just need a little more information on why we're doing something. That's very helpful to me as an interventionist, because now I can better meet the needs of you as a parent. I think the other thing that in terms of preparing for a session is to really think about what's a struggle that you're having right now? What is something that might be keeping you up at night, or that you're maybe thinking more that you need a little extra help with, and to communicate that with your early interventionist. So it could be, I am really struggling right now with keeping hearing aids on my baby because 9 months of age, they like to pull them out and they like to chew on them. So could we talk, it would really help me if we could talk through what are some possible retention ideas. And so I think that those kinds of things could make you a great partner in intervention. And so I think in conclusion that it's been a great discussion. We have much more we can talk about. There's another question from, and as we have more questions, that we'll be putting resources in our comment section. But I appreciate you joining us. And if you'd like to continue these discussions about transitions or about more retention ideas or about how to be a better partner in the intervention, come join us in the communities. We have the family-to-family support community, and we'd love to connect with you. You can connect with other families there that are sharing the journey, learn from them, and share tips and ideas. And also then, if you're a professional, come join our professional learning community. If you're wanting to improve your knowledge and your skills and your practice so that you can better support families and be a better partner in intervention as well. Then, I also would like to invite you to come to our website and sign up for our LSL, our Hearing First newsletter. That allows you to stay up to date on all our information and resources and subscribe to that newsletter. So we look forward to connecting with you in many more ways, and I look forward to seeing you online. And thanks for joining us today.